Bangaloreans. In the hot seat with me today is N.S. Mukunda, President of the Citizens Action Forum (CAF), an organization of citizens and citizens associations who believe in offering solutions and not just pointing out problems. The forum's interest lies in bringing transparency and accountability in matters of governance through structured citizen participation. The forum proposes to achieve this through constant dialogue with the four estates of democracy, namely the legislature, the bureaucracy, the judiciary and the media. The forum in fact prefers to call itself the fifth estate. How does Citizens Action Forum go about its work? Do government agencies take the forum's suggestions seriously? What have been the forum's achievements so far? Let me, on your behalf, pose these and many other related questions to the esteemed guest. Welcome, Mr. Mukunda.
Thank you, Mr. Balram.
Mr. Mukunda, civic services in Bangalore are not up to the desired level. Service providers haven't kept pace with the fast-growing city. Where do you think lies the problem and who is to blame?
I think you put it very mildly when saying that it's not up to the requirement. It's far below par. The blame essentially lies in the fact, right from the process of planning the infrastructural requirements and the facilities required, because the participation of citizens is not mandated in the planning process. That is where the basic problem starts. If the citizens are involved in the process of planning, then it becomes very easy for the authorities to evolve plans which are desired by the citizens, which are required by the citizens, and not some plan which is prepared in the air-conditioned office of a bureaucrat and thrust upon the citizens whether it is going to be beneficial or not.
Mr. Mukunda, what motivated you and your team to start the Citizens Action Forum?
Way back in 2000, when Janagraha started its movement, many of us joined hands, participated in the movement, because we were really very upset about the lack of civic communities, especially in the new areas that were added on to the BBMP area, where the quality of civic communities were very much below par and there was nobody to really care for our requirements. So from there, our involvement started, and gradually it evolved into a stage where a lot of people showed interest, and we formed a separate organization under the name and style of Citizens Action Forum, with the motive or with the objective that we should bring in transparency and accountability, mainly through structured citizen participation in all aspects of providing the facilities for citizens, especially at the local self-government level, and to some extent at the state government level. We want to see that this is implemented by the political parties.
Mr. Mukunda, how exactly do you interact with the civic agencies? What are the issues that you have focused so far?
Basically, when we started our organization, we focused our attention on electoral reforms, because we believe that the root cause for all corruption and corrupt practices that are prevalent today can be traced back to the kind of money that one has to spend to win an election. That is where I think we feel that the problem, the basic and fundamental problem lies. So we thought that by carrying out electoral reforms, especially in terms of the electoral expenses that are allowed and the kind of people that are allowed to contest the election, there must be a lot of the requirement for reforms is quite huge. So we thought we will start with electoral reforms. There our demands were quite simple, that the citizens' charter will be prepared by the citizens and presented to all the contesting candidates, and they should give their opinion about that, and whosoever wins the election should be able to implement it or put in his best efforts to see that these things are implemented. And he should be answerable to the constituents. And from that point of view, so many corollaries followed, like the undemocratic nature of the so-called whip of the party, where
Mr. Mukunda, I will come to these electoral reforms later.
Sure.
This short point. What are the other things you have focused on?
we are focused on giving our suggestions to the Kasturirangan Committee report, which was set up before forming the Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palike area, merging larger areas into this. Then we have also focused on making the government revert to the old system of assessing the property taxes instead of going by the proposed capital value system. We have also focused on the comprehensive development plan. We did a lot of work as far as Sakrama bill is concerned. Then the latest issue that we have taken up is the drinking water problem of Bangalore, where we believe that there is enough water and more within Bangalore only. What is needed is proper planning and implementation.
Mr. Mukunda, do civic agencies take you seriously? Do they implement your suggestions?
I think I will have to answer this in a very split fashion, in the sense that at the individual level, most of the officers and most of the politicians, as individuals, agree with our view. But when it comes to taking a collective decision as a political party or as the bureaucracy, they somehow fail to take our views into consideration and formulate the plans. That is where I think we will have to achieve a greater degree of success.
Do you get frustrated sometimes?
Oh, many a time, many a time.
What do you do then?
We continue with our
Continue the
effort.
fight.
We continue the fight, continue the interaction, and tell them that this is the only. We definitely tell them, yes, when we have proposed something, it may not be 100% accurate. Obviously, we have, as citizen groups, have got limited resources in terms of time, effort, finances, and all that. But we do have the passion to see that Bangalore becomes a really and truly a global international city with all high quality civic amenities. And that will give us the strength to collect so much of information, come out with greater ideas, consult so many people, stakeholders, and come out with really implementable ideas which are having a great cost benefit also.
Mr. Mukunda, usually citizens react to budgets, be it the general budget or the state budget or the BBMP budget, only after it is tabled, usually.
Yeah.
I believe you present a citizen's alternative budget to the BBMP before the agency starts working on it. What have been your key recommendations to BBMP?
We have started this idea of presenting a citizen's budget. And there we believe that the basic duty of BBMP is on about 3-4 fronts. One is BBMP will have to strengthen its resource mobilization effort. Instead of simply going on increasing the property taxes and taxing a narrow base of taxpayers, they have to expand the tax base. They also have to get more revenue from so many other sources. Then they have to take up issues which affect the citizens on a day-to-day basis. Also, when they take up a project, for example, now the road widening has become a craze. Road widening per se is no solution for traffic problems anywhere in the world. It has been a proven fact. I don't think there is any necessity to reinvent the wheel by trying to widen the roads and after 2 years find that that road is also full chock-a-block with traffic. Such things should not be done, but more in terms of providing the basic requirements of like good connectivity, good water sources, water supply, then electricity, all these are transport, especially transport, and plan for the development of Bangalore in such a way that over a given period of time, say 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, the level of the quality of life should go up.
That's true.
And it should be across all sections of society. It should be an inclusive budget. For example, migrant workers. Bangalore is seeing a boom in construction. A lot of migrant workers are coming. And there has been a general complaint about migrant workers that they spoil the sanitation of Bangalore and all these things. But think of it from their point of view. They don't have a shelter because the builders do not provide them with any living quarters. They don't provide them with any facility to have their bath, sanitation facility, drinking water, a creche for their small children, and safety for women and all these things. That is why we have suggested that BBMP should build in each ward. About 5 years back, this suggestion was given. In each ward, they should build a structure where it can house in a permanent way the workers who are undertaking construction works there. This space can be taken on rent by the builder, provide them with this place where all the basic facilities are provided, so that for the duration of the project, they are housed in a decent accommodation with all the facilities, so that the quality of life even for them is going to be good. After all, they are the people that are building your infrastructure. And I think we should worry about them also, the education of their children. Education is very important, and the health facilities and all these things. So we're concentrating on more on things like that, not on...
Mr. Mukunda, how has been the BBMP's response to your suggestions? Were the forum suggestions included in the budget?
Mr. Balram, as I said, forum suggestions at the ward level in many cases have been included. But at the city level, so far we have not been successful. It's an unfortunate state of affairs, but we are still persisting with our effort. And probably, hopefully, we will see that at least a part of the city-wide planning process involves our suggestions also, and they are included in the budget.